Brian, I was sitting at a beautiful little cafe downtown yesterday afternoon, and I overheard an English learner trying to get the waiter's attention. They looked so incredibly nervous, and when the waiter finally walked over to their table, they just pointed at the menu and said, "I want this." It made me realize how intimidating ordering food can be for beginners.
Oh, absolutely. "I want this" gets the job done, but it can sound a little blunt or demanding in English, even if the student doesn't mean to be. Ordering food isn't just about reading a word off a menu. It is an active social interaction. Because restaurants can be loud and fast-paced, beginners often freeze up at a fear of making a mistake.
Exactly. Your stomach is rumbling, the waiter is waiting, and suddenly your mind goes completely blank. It can turn a fun meal into a high-stress situation. But today, we are going to break down the exact phrases native speakers use to order food smoothly, slowly, and clearly so you can feel totally relaxed the next time you dine out. When you go to a foreign country, visiting a restaurant is something you have to do almost every single day, so mastering this skill early on is a massive confidence booster for any language learner.
Let's start with the very first interaction. When you walk into a restaurant, the host or waiter will usually greet you and ask, "How many people are in your party?" Or simply, "Table for how many?" This happens before you even get to see a menu or choose where you want to sit.
Table for how many? Listeners, party in a restaurant doesn't mean a celebration with balloons. It just means your group of people. A perfect, natural way to answer is to smile and say, "A table for two, please," or "Just one, please," if you are eating alone. Let's practice that basic pattern together very slowly. A table for two, please. It is short, polite, and tells the host exactly what they need to know to find you a great spot.
Perfect. Once you sit down and get comfortable, the waiter will often look at you and ask, "Can I start you off with something to drink?" This is your cue to order your beverages before you choose the main meal. It gives you a chance to settle in and read through the food options without rushing.
Right. And instead of saying, "I want water," a much more polite and authentic phrase to use is, "Could I have?" or "I'll have." For example, "Could I have a glass of water, please?" or "I'll have an iced tea, please." These phrases show respect to the staff working hard to serve you.
"Could I have" and "I'll have." Those are the ultimate golden phrases for ordering anything in English, Emily. They're polite, easy to remember, and instantly show good manners to the staff. You can use them at a coffee shop, a fast food counter, or a fancy restaurant.
They really are, Brian. They work every single time without fail. Sometimes the waiter will also ask if you want tap water or bottled water. Tap water comes from the sink and is usually free in many English-speaking countries, while bottled water will cost you extra money. Knowing these small details can save you from an unexpected surprise when the bill arrives.
That is a very smart tip, Emily. It is always good to know what you are paying for. Another thing to consider is how drinks are served. If you want ice in your soda, you don't usually need to ask because it comes automatically. But if you prefer your drink without ice, you can say, "No ice, please."
Exactly. Being specific about your preferences helps the kitchen get everything right the first time. Now, as we transition into the second half of our conversation, let's look at what happens when the waiter returns to take your actual food order. What do you say when you are ready, or if you need a little more time to look at the menu options? There are several great phrases we can use to handle this smoothly without feeling any pressure from the staff.
Hey, have you heard about Brian? So the waiter comes back to your table with your drinks, holds up a little notepad, and asks, "Are you ready to order?" What happens if you are still looking at the menu and cannot decide what you want to eat yet, Emily? This is a very common situation for beginners who need extra time to translate the ingredients.
Yeah, I have. Let's dive into it and see what we can learn. Don't panic at all. If you need more time, you can just say, "Could we have a few more minutes, please?" Or, "We're still deciding." Waiters hear this all the time, so they will happily walk away and check back on you shortly. It is completely normal to take your time.
We're still deciding. That is a wonderful phrase to keep in your pocket. But what if you are ready? How do you actually order your main course like a native speaker without using the word want? We want to sound natural and polite.
You can use our golden phrase from earlier, or try another very common option. I'd like the. For instance, "I'd like the grilled chicken, please," or "I'll have the seafood pasta." These structures are perfect because they are simple but sound incredibly polite to the ear.
I'd like the is perfect. Listeners, I'd like is short for I would like. It sounds very elegant and friendly. Now, what if you have a question about the food? What if you don't know what a dish is, or you want to know what comes on the side?
That is a great point. You can ask, "What does this dish come with?" This is how you find out if a meal includes a side dish, like fries, a salad, or vegetables. You can also ask, "What do you recommend?" if you want the waiter's personal opinion on the best food today.
What do you recommend? I love asking that because waiters always know the tastiest items on the menu. They can tell you what is fresh or what the chef's specials are for that night. It is a great way to try something new and delicious without guessing blindly.
Yes, and if you have an allergy, you must tell the waiter clearly. You can say, "I am allergic to nuts," or "Is this dish gluten-free?" The staff will appreciate you telling them because they want to keep you safe and happy during your meal.
Absolutely. Safety comes first. Now, after you finish your delicious meal, the waiter will clear the plates away and ask, "Can I get you anything else? Or are you all set?" This means they want to know if you want dessert or if you are ready for the check.
"Are you all set?" means, "Are you finished and ready to leave?" If you are finished, you can say, "We're all set, thank you. Could we get the bill, please?" This signals to the waiter that you are ready to pay your money and head home.
Could we get the bill, please? In American English, you might also hear people say, "Could we get the check, please?" Both bill and check mean the piece of paper that shows how much money you need to pay for your meal.
Exactly. Now, before we finish our lesson for today, let's do a quick review of all these essential restaurant phrases. We will say them very clearly with a slow pause after each one, so you can listen and repeat them out loud to practice your pronunciation.
Excellent. Let's practice together. Table for two, please. Just one, please. Could I have a glass of water? I'll have an iced tea. We're still deciding. I'd like the grilled chicken. What does this dish come with? What do you recommend? We're all set, thank you. Could we get the bill, please?
Wonderful job, everyone. Practicing these structures slowly will completely change your dining experience the next time you visit an English-speaking restaurant. You won't have to feel nervous about saying the wrong thing.
It really will. Don't worry about understanding every